Hey guys, Sean here from dsweetdeals LLC, also affiliated with Global Opportunities Network. Just want to talk to you guys today about your financial future. Where do you see yourself in a couple years from now? What are your goals? You plan to be in a house? Plan to be married? Plan to be retired? You know, stuff like that. Nowadays, in today's economy, we know that everyone is losing jobs now, and it's hard to even get by. Prices of everything's going up. So what I suggest for everyone is that you gotta have a plan B. Everyone needs some type of plan B. You might get injured, you might have a bad case of health, and you will be unable to work. Now, what happens to all the bills you gotta pay? What happens to the income that used to be coming in? Those are things you gotta think about for the near future. As I was growing up, there's always my parents always said, "Oh, you need 3 months security just in case something happens." But what happens when that 3 months security runs out? It's a good time to be planning for a plan B. Have a backup for your job that you have now or the business that you have now. Always have some type of backup. Have funds saved because life happens, things happens, debt happens. But I don't really want to go too much into business talk. So let's talk about let's keep it up with your financial future. How many of you guys have a last will or trust? Now, me, I didn't have none of these things, but I did know that I need these things because if something happens to me, I want to make sure that my family's taken care of, and my son want to make sure that his future is secured if I'm not around to look after him as he's growing up. So it's always good to have a last will, but with that will, it's always good to have a trust. So what I want to do, I'm going to go through my notes here if you guys don't mind. I want to tell you a little bit about a will, a little bit about a trust, how it works. Frequently asked questions. Let's say you die and you don't have your last will. What happens? If you die without a last will, all your assets, which are not jointly held with someone who survives you, are placed in a trust. We'll go through the probate process. None of your assets can be distributed to your heirs until the probate court permits it. The probate court will name someone to be the executor of your personal or a personal representative of your estate. I don't know about you, but I would like to determine who is the personal person looking over my estate because they might distribute my stuff the way I don't want to distribute. That person will collect all of your assets and find out what debts you owe. Example, if you have minor children, the probate court will name someone to be the guardian of those children, which may or may not be the person you would approve. I think just reading that little paragraph alone, I would think you would want a last will. Let's go on. Let's see what else is a good question here that I had down in my notes. Is my last will valid and legal? What makes your last will valid and legal are capacity, soundness of mind, formality, which is writing, the signatures of the witness. If you sign your last will of your own free will without dementa and without undue influence of others, then you have the soundness of mind. Basically, you have to be 100% when you're doing your will. You can't be someone that's telling you, "Oh, write this down," helping you fill it out. No, you got to do it on your own. You got to be in your right mind because this can be contested if someone challenges it and says, "Oh, he was forced to write this will. He was sick. They signed it for him." Stuff like that. Let's move on. Is it possible to disinherit someone from your will? Yes, it is. You may disinherit someone, however, keep in mind that in some states, if you attempt to disinherit your spouse or your children, your spouse or children may have a statutory right to a portion of your estate, regardless of what your last will says. Generally, people other than a spouse or children can be freely disinherited. Alright, let's see what else is here. Now, if you're worried about if others will inherit your debt after you die, the answer is generally no. No one can inherit your unsecured debts after you die unless they are co-signed on your account with you. Now, can you choose a guardian of your last will? Yes. In fact, your last will be the only place where you can name a guardian for minor children. Choose a guardian who will look after and care for your children as if they were your own. Now, in your will, you can put in a no contest provision. A no contest provision, sometimes called a terror clause, is designed to prevent frivolous, costly, and time-consuming challenges to the last will or living trust. Essentially, it provides that any beneficiary who challenges the validity of or any provision of a will and trust must forfeit whatever benefits they would otherwise have received. I definitely would have this in my will. As you can see, my two kids are in my background, running around. That's exactly why I have to do a living will and trust to keep these two from running back and forth and getting what they need. Alright, let's go on to a living trust. A living trust is a flexible tool you may create to use a estate plan. A living trust may be used to delay the distribution of assets after your death, avoid probate, and minimize estate taxes. Depending on how it's drafted, a living trust also acts as an asset protection device to keep your assets safe. So, do you see how these two work together? The will and a living trust. The will is your last wishes. The trust is going to make sure your wishes are carried out. Now, do you need a last will if you have a living trust? Yes. A living trust and a last will function together. A living trust is only part of a complete estate plan. There are valid reasons for keeping some of your assets outside of your trust, or you may acquire assets in the future that you forget to transfer to the trust. When you die, the non-trust assets will be needed to be transferred to the living trust. A pour-over will take any assets kept outside of the trust during your lifetime and put them into the trust at your death. Now, can you be the trustee of your trust? You can be the trustee during your lifetime. Since all trust assets are held in the name of your trustee, this means you can continue to fully control your assets as long as you live and are not incapacitated. So, that's just a little bit of information I wanted to share with you guys about the last will and last will trust. So I just want to keep you guys updated and informed. You guys can follow me on Twitter. I'm going to put this all in the caption bar on the bottom. I'm on Twitter. I have my blog. I'd like to keep you all informed of what I'm doing and, just keep the information flowing. So at the bottom of this video, feel free to go on any of my sites. Hit me up on Skype. I'm going to leave a phone number you guys can call. I'm always willing to talk to you. As you can see, the kids are getting restless, so I'm going to have to pay them a little bit of family time. Alright? Thanks for watching my video, and I hope to hear from you guys soon.